AC Milan currently sit down in 7th place in Italy and quite some way off European football, which isn't ideal for one of the biggest clubs in the world. But one thing they do have is a simply fantastic youth academy with the likes of Francesco Camara, Chaka Traore and many more coming up. Today we are using only that youth academy to rebuild AC Milan into Serie A giants and of course winning the Champions League. And well, the reason this is going to be so difficult is because as you look through the Serie A team AC Milan, you find that every single player here in the top 10, 15 or 20 is in fact not homegrown at club, all the way down to captain Delive Calabria. So the likes of Leao, Pulisic, Teo Hernandez, Mike Maignan are not allowed to be in the squad from day one, which means the team looks something like this, with a whole host of 1 stars and 1.5 stars littered throughout the lineup, and of course some fantastic potential. But I also want to show you in today's video why you cannot trust this star rating in the slightest. As we look through this team, we have the likes of Davide Bartagrasti, Christian Komoto, Chaka Traore, Victor Elitu is here. We've got Noah Ravien, who's got a decent potential as a goalkeeper, but we struggle to see the main man. The reason I am doing this rebuild, Francesco Camara, because he has a 1.5 star potential ability. And I'm going to show you exactly why you cannot concentrate on just these star ratings. These are just your scouting's opinion, not the player's actual potential ability. And as you watch to the end of the video, we're going to make Francesco Camara one of the best strikers Italy has ever seen. And of course, the way we are using this database is the database that is linked down below in the description. It is quite simple to do. You head to Steam, look for FM Inside October is what I'm looking for. I believe there's November now as well. Download that and you get all of the brand new Wonder Kids in the game that you would have as if we are playing in real life. Players like Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. I'm pretty sure there's a Seedorf in here. There's an Ibrahimovic. There's like a young Cliver at Barcelona, for example. All young players that their dads were on some of the biggest footballers in the world. They are now coming through in football and they're actually in this database, which is absolutely awesome to see. Now, of course, with the team that we have currently got, I am not expecting very good things. We are quite some way off being a challenger in the Serie A with this team. In terms of the season preview, it probably thinks we're going to be quite good. 7-2, well, that's because all the players are down here in the under 18s and they are all up for sale. If you look at Mike Maignan, he is transfer listed. He is unhappy that he's transfer listed and he'll be leaving. And that is the case for every single player here. They are under strict instructions never to play a game and to be leaving the club ASAP. That might take 2 or 3 seasons, but that is that. Now for this rebuild as well, I've decided I'm not going to be doing any transfers. When we spoke about transfers and youth-only rebuilds previously, I was going to bring in 1 player of the season as under 18. Given the fact we are at AC Milan, they have an absolutely fantastic youth facilities and youth recruitment and training facilities. I don't think we're going to struggle quite as much as some teams in, say, Belgium, etc. Here in Italy, at AC Milan, we should be able to build a powerhouse using only the academy. So let's see how this goes and see if we make it through season number 1. So this season, our main team looks something like this, with Kamara up front, Chaka Traore and Cuenca on the wings, with Parinia in cam, with Zeroli Elutu in DM, with Bartagesi, Calabria, Gabbia, Voss and Ravaier in goal. And well, despite not winning in our first 3 games, including a 7-1 loss to AS Roma, things certainly got better as we went through the season, including a 6-2 thumping of Genoa, where Chaka Traore showed what an absolutely quality winger he was, and also seeing that 16-year-old Francesco Camara had some elite potential and could go to the very top as a fox in the box. Surprisingly enough, it was Chaka Traore that actually led the way in goals this season, scoring 19 off the left wing with 9 assists, with Francesco Camara grabbing 9 goals and 1 assist. At just 16 years of age, he has 16 finishing, 15 composure, and some pretty decent physical stats as well, but still that potential is incredibly low, even after playing 36 games in the top flight of Italy. When it comes to the Champions League, we actually ended up finishing in 4th place behind Bodo Glimt, Leipzig and Manchester City on just 1 point and a negative 15 goal difference, showing quite how long we've got to go to eventually win the biggest trophy in the world. We were also knocked out in the quarterfinal of the Italian Cup to Atalanta, but being in the final 8 of this competition, I was quite happy, and I was certainly very happy with finishing in 5th place in the league on 67 points. Don't get me wrong, we are just 4 points away from 7th, but that is where AC Milan currently sit in real life, so maybe they should just trust their youth, and that's a pretty decent start to this rebuild. We are on the edge now, we're already getting into Champions League football again, We're of course developing young players at a rapidly alarming rate, which is fantastic. And we need to chase down our Milan rivals, Inter Milan, as they win the title. 11 points clear of Bologna in second, with Juve in fourth, of course, ourselves in fifth. And some big relegations as well, with Udinese going down, which is quite surprising to see. But a very decent first season for sure. In terms of our data hub, we weren't too bad at scoring goals, but conceding them was an absolute mess. It was a little bit embarrassing, to be honest. I've got to be said, we are playing a basically central midfielder in Silvino Voss in centre-back with Gabbia. Calabria is a fantastic right wing-back, and he should be here for years to come. And with our young goalkeeper, Noah Olivier, it's going to take some time for him to become a really good goalkeeper. He's just 18 years of age, got a value of up to £4.5 million. Good jumping range and area reach, but he is nowhere near Serie A level. So until they develop, it is going to be difficult. We have got a superstar on our hands and left back with Davide Bartegesi coming in. He is, again, absolutely fantastic. Great going forward, good physical stats, good concentration, and good determination. If you're doing an AC Milan save, you need a bit of money. Sell Teo Hernandez, bring in Davide, because he got 7 goals and 4 assists and a 7.04 in his first season. So certainly someone to be looking into. But as this is going to work now, we are basically going to go to the end of every single season. I'll bring up youth academy players and tell you how they go as we go through the rebuild. But we're normally doing no transfers. So that money we've got in the bank, which is currently sitting at 206 million, is going to get absolutely ridiculous. And if you do want to get yourself a brand new save to play with on Football Manager for the whole of December, January, and probably February as well, I'll be leaving you in a fantastic position here at AC Milan as Champions League winners, and of course an overall balance of probably upwards of £1 billion, so you can scrap the whole bringing through the youth system if you want to, and go and spend a ridiculous amount of money and make AC Milan the best team in the world. That save file is going to be available on Patreon. The link is down below as we get into this Christmas period. If you do want to help support me in any way possible, Patreon is the best way to do so. Either £2 a month just to say thank you, or £5, you do get access to all the rebuild files and any tactics we make, etc. as well, and it is greatly appreciated. So if you do want to do that down below, just feel free to go down there, smash that, and get your hands on this AC Milan save and show me what you can do with £1 billion in the bank. Season 2 saw us get all the way to the Europa League semi-finals, where sadly, even though we did win the first leg, we got absolutely humbled by RB Salzburg and ended up losing 6-4 on aggregate. But a certainly decent showing in a European competition, just 2 seasons into running only youth. We held ourselves pretty accountable. Hugo scoring at the back stick to make it just a 1-goal deficit. But in the 92nd minute, they did score and we were knocked out in the semi-finals, which means we had to go to the league to get European football again. And that's because, yet again, we were knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Italian Cup to Atalanta. So thankfully, we finished in 6th position in the league this season and got Europa Conference League football. Quite lucky that we did as well, because you should know I finished it down in 12th, must have won the Italian Cup to get European football themselves. So we do qualify for the Europa Conference League. It is a trophy which I would absolutely love to win next season. It is one of the easiest trophies to win a Football Manager, and I would quite like to win it with AC Milan in Season 3 using youth only. Now, in terms of the data hub, we have fixed a massive issue: shipping goals. We are now above average in terms of conceding less goals than the other average team in the Serie A, which is great. We are scoring 2 goals a game, and there's no surprise. Our goal scorer, first of all, is Lorenzo Colombo, who last season was out on loan at Empoli. He is coming in to play in the right wing position for us, because I have locked in Francesco Kamada into that striking position, because he is now slowly getting better and better. Already at 17, he is his potential ability that they gave us at the start of the game. So showing it is an absolute myth. Do not always listen to the magical gold stars, and as I said, make sure to watch the end of the video, because this guy's going to become an absolute joke. I mean, with 16 composure and 16 finishing, it's pretty clear to see why. He scored 13 goals this season, which was great, but we also had another breakout star in Mattia Liberali, who hardly played last season at all. This season came into the cam role and grabbed 17 goals and got 5 assists, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Again, another real-life wonder kid coming up into the first team and absolutely smashing it. And you can see why, because he's got great stats, great technique, great physical stats, and I mean, he's all round a great player at just 18 years of age. Chaka Traore grabbing 24 goal contributions, pretty good. And Davide Bartegesi is now already a 4-star good Serie A player, is on the edge of becoming the greatest left back the world has ever seen. Somehow, no Italian caps just yet, but I'm sure they're going to come for him, because he is an absolute joke. He grabbed 10 assists and 6 goals. And David Calabria on the right-hand side, he is our captain, our leader, our legend. He grabbed 6 goals and 19 assists with a 7.11 average rating. In terms of our goalkeeper, if we can see him, whatever, yeah, grabbed a 6.83, so a much better season this season. He has gone up quite a lot in a lot of different stats and is now a decent Serie A goalkeeper as well. He's asking for a brand new contract. He's on 725k quid a week. Yeah, he deserves a brand new contract, that is for sure. So certainly things are going well. We are absolutely smashing it. Players are progressing at a very quick rate. And next season, we're in the Conference League, where hopefully we can lift our first trophy. Maybe not, as Real Sociedad beat us 5-3 on aggregate in the quarterfinals. And again, in the quarterfinal of the Italian Cup, we end up losing. We just can't get past that stage. But this season in the league, things were a little bit different. And we actually have here in Italy a way of playing a championship playoff two-legged affair as we go level on points of Napoli at the top of the table. We go 1-0 down, we make it 1-1 thanks to Sia at the back stick, not the singer, the football player. Liberali then goes to the edge to find Vesic, to find Lorenzo Colombo to batter it into the top corner for 2-1 before Napoli equalise in the first tie. Away from home, we certainly take that. And that's because just 13 minutes in, we get a stroke of luck at the San Siro as Napoli stick it into the back of their own net to make it 1-0, and we made it 2 as well thanks to Sia scoring again from the edge of the box, making it 2. We had a 2-goal advantage. We allowed Napoli to get back into it thanks to a goal from Raspadori, but it wasn't enough. And AC Milan are your title winners, beating Napoli 4-3 on aggregate after being level on points. We had 36 goal difference, 79 points. If it was down to goal difference, we wouldn't have won the title. Thanks to it being a weird system here in Italy, we win the league on 79 points, which is fantastic. And Francesco Camara is up in the top 4 in goal contributions, and in terms of average rating, we've got Liberali and Davide Portuguesi in there as well, which is fantastic. And AC Milan in just 3 seasons have gone with only their youth to top of the pile, which is not what I expected in the slightest. It's been not quite as good as that in other seasons. To be fair, we're only 9 points better off than we were this season when we come down in sort of 6th place. So the league has sort of become a lot more close and compact, and we've taken advantage and got the Champions Medal, which is fantastic, especially considering we knocked out the Conference League, knocked out the Italian Cup. It all came down to winning the league, and we've done it this season, which is brilliant. And again, you can see why. We are scoring an outrageous amount of goals, 2.33 goals scored per game. In terms of our schedule, if we sort this by sort of max result, we have 8-2, 7-2, a 7-0 in the Conference League, 5-0, 5-0, 4-3, 4-2, 4-2, 4-1, 4-0. And Mattia Liberari was fantastic. He grabbed 30 goal contributions this season. His dribbling and technique are now both at 17. His speed is outrageous. He scored 19 goals and got 11 assists. But of course, we have to look at Francesco Camara, 26 goals and 6 assists. Now officially a good Serie A player. And again, now getting to the point where he could get capped for the Italian national team, already has an under-21s cap, and he's just simply fantastic on just 220 quid a week. And well, just because he's not one of the youth players that you think of, let's not write off Lorenzo Colombo. Come from the youth academy, and he's been brilliant. 39 goal contributions from that right wing spot. Taka Traore also grabbing 29 is also brilliant. He is outrageously quick, great first touch, great dribbling, and is someone to certainly keep an eye on. And as for the rest, I mean, Diego Sia, who we don't really know who he is that much. I mean, he's not got that amazing potential, but in the big games, he turns up and he scores goals. 15 goal contributions for him, and in terms of average rating, it's Liberi, Colombo, Bartigasi, Calabria, Chakacharoy, and Tommaso Pobegba, another one that has come through the youth academy, grabbing an over a 7 average rating, which is brilliant. You can see we have got some high potential youngsters coming through the youth academy now. Luca Origi is a left back, which is a little bit disappointing because we've got Bartigasi, but he could potentially overtake him or become a very good backup as he has done this season. In Cam, we have Marco Di Pietro, who again got some game time. Franchiolo Bortolizio, again another little player there. Rafael Grasso, Tommaso Baratti, Matteo Capitelli, Vincenzo Latino, all here. But for now, our goal is simply quite clear. We've already won the Serie A, which is one of the missions we've got. We now need to go and win the Champions League. Have your guess in the comments down below how long that is going to take. Well, for Season 4, despite the 4 goals in this game from Francesco Camara against Liverpool, we crashed out of the Champions League in the round of 16. As somehow here against Liverpool, we absolutely battered them 4-2. But in the second leg, showing the inconsistency of the youngsters, we lost 6-0, which is absolutely ridiculously humbling, but at least we're seeing Francesco Kamada is an absolute superstar. In the league, we finished on 71 points, which in the 7th team seems to be our sort of best finishing position, but Inter Milan came back this season with 96 points, losing just 4 games all season. And for season 5, well, we fell off a little bit. We come down in 6th place, qualifying for Europa League football on 65 points. Something I'm not actually that angry about. I think we've been punching above our weight quite considerably, and we need to go ahead with another European competition before winning the Champions League. Ticking off the Serie A is fantastic and something I'm very, very happy we've done, but I think it's safe to say that the team isn't quite there yet. I mean, we are progressing ridiculously well. Do you remember that Kamada guy who had 1.5-star potential ability? Remember, there's absolutely no editor involved, and he's now 5-star, and this is his stats. Yeah, 4 caps for Italy with 6 goals. I don't listen to the stars all the time, people. Sometimes the stars are very good. Sometimes they are complete and utter wibble-wobble, because this guy is a joke. 20 goals this season, as mentioned, 6 goals in 4 games for Italy, and is an absolute superstar striker. In terms of the goals of the rest of the team, Liberali scored 23 and got 10 assists. Chakachore with 30 goal contributions. Colombo with 31. Bartigasi with 20. Calabria with 17. The whole team is chipping in and doing a fantastic job. And in terms of the youngsters, well, we've not had too many come through the academy. We're quite lucky that some of the players that we didn't maybe expect to do so well have absolutely smashed it, like the likes of Mattia Liberali, who is an absolute superstar. For season number 6, it was much the same in the Italian Cup, as yet again we don't win it, this time losing in the semi-finals to Inter Milan. And well, despite our best efforts in the Europa League, after beating Manchester United 4-2 in the first leg, we lost the second leg 3-0 and didn't quite lift that Europa League trophy, and well, Manchester United went on to beat Real San Sebastian 4-0 in the final. For the Serie A this season, it was our best season by far in terms of our points tally. We were up into the 80s on 81, but again, sadly, Inter Milan are a dominant force. 91 points for them, Juventus 84, and it seems like the top 3 we are slowly breaking away, which is good to see. And it's also good to see that our names are littered above this top right. Kamada, Colombo, Bartigasi, and then we've got Bartigasi and Calabria top of assists with 30 between them. Calabria on yellow cards as well, showing that Italian aggression, but our captain has been simply fantastic. He stayed at Milan his whole career, and it's now come to fruition as he's an absolute club legend. And it's fantastic to see that we're not only just using the young players that are coming through the academy, we're also using players that are here in real life, and they are absolutely smashing it. And yeah, it's great to see. Chakachore also, again, another ridiculous season. Kamada, 36 goals this season and 55 is an absolute joke, and is an Italian legend. So again, the star ratings mean nothing, but sadly this season, no trophies. Which sadly was the same case for season 7, as we lose in the Italian Cup final to Inter Milan, who then go on to do a Centurion season and grab 105 points. Champions League, we're knocked out in the round of 16 by PSG, and in the league table we finished on 64, down in 5th place. Season 8 was much the same. Again, another trophyless season, just about securing Champions League football, finishing in 5th place on 71 points. And despite our best points tally again in season number 9, this time on 85, again, we come down in 3rd place. And it's Juventus and Inter Milan that are just pipping us to the post time and time again. Juventus, 88 points, managed by Ange Postecoglou, have got a simply fantastic team. I mean, looking at it, we've got a fullback system with Glau, Moliero, Ryder and Martial, with Thuram and Rivera and DM, Dedic, Bremer, Garcia, Yella and Ramsdale. I mean, how many of them are homegrown at club, I wonder? Let's guess. Absolutely none. Oh, and we've got 3, and they're all backups. And Yildiz, he is also homegrown at club, and it is an absolute joke. But in terms of Inter Milan, I imagine it's a very, very similar situation. Their team, managed by Marco Rose, who is a joke for manager on FM, has Martinez, Nunes, Pafundi, Schneider, Mastropiero, Uriki, Vitic, Gabriel, Omarimic, Caprone, and Carnesecchi. A lot more regens coming through this team, and to be fair to them, quite a lot more trained at club, but also their best players not quite trained at club. For us, the complete opposite. We are still the homegrown club. We are trained at Nation, and we are battling with the big boys while making a stupid amount of money. In terms of money, we're up to £818 million in the bank. So as mentioned at the start of this rebuild, if you do want to have some fun on the save and go absolutely mental in terms of transfers, you've got a £4.8 million wage budget, which if you was to just stick down to there and be, about what we need. So go 2.7, you'd have 278 million plus 645k to spend, and that's in just season number 8. I've got no idea how long this is going to take, but it could take a few years longer. As this season, again, we got knocked out in the round of 16 by Real Madrid and quarterfinal by Inter Milan, who are just becoming an absolute thorn in our side. And it's got to be said, this is getting a little bit boring. Season number 10, again, down. Juventus and Inter Milan, top 2. We are joint 3rd with Atalanta. We get knocked out by Udinese in the knockout playoff round. If you don't remember, got relegated in season 1. And now a Champions League side are knocking us out. Italian Cup, semi-final by Juventus, and the same for the Super Cup. We are now years away from lifting trophies, which is very, very frustrating. Past winners, we are pretty much useless. 2026 was the last time we won something, and things aren't looking good. I am committed, however, to doing this through just using Development Centre. I do not want to be using the transfer market. Now we're 10 seasons in, it'll be very easy for me to go and, scout the best 15 to 16-year-olds. There's some mental players in here like Cura at AC Roma. I could bring him in, he would come homegrown at club, and we could absolutely smash it. But that'd be a bit boring now we're 10 seasons in. I'm committed to it. This could take us a few more seasons, though. Well, saying that, our team is very good. Kamada, Liberali, Pilas is a player that's come through the academy as a DM. I didn't like the look of him because he's insanely slow, but mentally he is outstanding and a great DM. And Bartagasi is still here smashing it. Chekatore, Raffinason is a centre-back that come through, Icelandic, who has been absolutely fantastic as well. Noah Olivier, you might not have thought he'd become a good goalkeeper. Well, here he is. He is very, very good indeed, and a good Serie A goalkeeper, which is very important to have here at the club, which is great. Kevin Zaroli, Pobegba, Latino is still here. I wonder if Calabria is still here as well, this far in as our right wing back. I don't think he is. I think he is actually gone, which is a little bit disappointing. He is obviously now a club legend, but has reached the end of his career. And while we're being carried by Lorenzo Colombo. Not exactly what I was expecting, but very good to see. Come on, season 11, let's kick off a new era and absolutely smash it. And well, finally this season, we managed to get back onto having some consistent form. Lost 3 games before the end of January and 1 after it in a simply fantastic season. That led to Kamada grabbing 40 goals, Mattia Liberali grabbing 27 goals and 29 assists, Chekatore grabbing 27, and a new man on the block, Marco Parizio, grabbing 23 goal contributions. And while we weren't the best at scoring goals, finishing down in 3rd, we weren't the best at conceding goals, finishing down in 3rd, we've finally lifted the trophy once again. And you can see we're up against here because Inter Milan grabbing 90 points, finishing in 3rd, and Juventus grabbing 91, finishing in 2nd, and ourselves winning the league on 92 points. Finally, we are there. And I've got to say, I don't know who this guy is in real life. I don't know his potential in real life. But Mattia Liberali, my God, what a player he becomes on a Football Manager. And of course, the same has got to be said for the Serie A's top goal scorer, Francesco Kamada. If you don't know about this guy, get to know. He is absolutely fantastic. 40 goals in 59 games is incredibly impressive. But that's not all we've done this season. In the Champions League phase, we finished in 13th place, which meant we had to go to the knockout playoff round. We faced up against FC Copenhagen, which wasn't a challenge at all, to be honest. We won 7-1 on aggregate. But in the round of 16, we were drawn up against a PSG side with the likes of Endrick, Zaire Emery, and Vinicius Jr., and it was always going to be tough. Liberali scored to make it 1-0, but Juve bounced straight back thanks to a goal from Ousmane Diomande, but Chekatore from the spot made us leaders again on 2-1 before PSG pegged us back yet again. Shirky finding Marcos Leonardo at the back stick to make it 2-2. We did come away victors in this game, but it is at the San Siro, and we've now got to go to France to challenge PSG, who it seems like have just brought all the best wonder kids on the game. And we'll also managed to keep hold of Xavi Simons, who scored in the 63rd minute from an outrageous effort from the edge of the box to make it 1-0. We then grabbed a red card, which wasn't helpful. And PSG in the 105th minute scored thanks to a wonder goal from Rayan Shirky. But we have a wonder kid of our own. In the 120th minute, Latino drives down the left-hand side. He whips it into the back stick, and Francesco Camara scores to level the game up. And it's there that we win the tie 6-5 on penalties. And captain Francesco Camara grabs the all-important goal to save AC Milan's Champions League hopes. In the quarterfinals, it was going to be Juventus we were playing, the team that finished on 91 points behind us in the Serie A. Well, Chaka Traore scored in 24 minutes, and we grabbed a second to take a commanding lead heading away from home against the old lady. And while it wasn't easy, we did beat Juventus 2-1 thanks to another late goal from Mattia Liberali. And it was here in the semi-finals of the Champions League who were drawn up against Atletico Madrid, which apparently was quite a nice tie as we went 1-0 up in the 4th minute and went 2-0 up in the 6th minute as Pozio drives on the right-hand side and finds that man Kamada yet again at the back stick. And we made it 3-0 in 16 minutes to pretty much wrap this tie up and set up a final of the Champions League against Inter Milan. And if we were to win this, we would complete the challenge of winning the Champions League of AC Milan using youth-only players. So, of course, that is exactly what we have to go and do. Pobegba scores in 5 minutes, and in 16 minutes, well, it's this man, Francesco Camara, being a dog up front, scoring from range and making it 2-0. And we are going to grab a third as well. And it's my other favourite player from this rebuild. Of course, it had to be Mattia Liberali to score to make it 3-0. Inter Milan had the last goal, but we had the last laugh as AC Milan lift the Champions League in season number 11 using only youth-only players. If you have enjoyed this rebuild, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll speak to you next time.